Alright, we're going to interrupt our regularly scheduled repair. And we're going to repair our repair stuff. And that is this harness. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect all my other stuff from it. Occasionally, you have to repair your tools, and this is one of them. You insert and remove this enough. These tend to weaken over time, and the service wire here, the housing on this is broken. So when you go to insert it, it comes out the other side. When it shouldn't do that, it should click into place. So we're going to extract these and put it into a new housing and replace any pins that are needed. So I've got a new housing here. It's a 56 pin JAMMA connector, essentially. Do I want to do this one, or do I want to do this one? Since this one already is labeled, I think I might do this one since it's already labeled and it's already keyed. Okay, so I have an extraction tool, which has seen a little bit better days. So in order to pull a pin out of here, you want to take and you want to push the wires forward if possible, and then right above, let's do the end one first. These two are separate, so you push it a little bit forward, then you stick this in above. You should feel a little click. Well, and it should pop out. There is a tiny little barb on the top of this that will sometimes get folded down. You can pull it out if you want, but these look like they might be squished. So let's take a look at this one versus a brand new one. So yeah, it's not bad. They're about the same. So I don't necessarily need to replace this one. Let me get my X-Acto here, because what we want to do is we want to get that little barb and bend it up a little bit so that when it goes back into the other one, you should get a nice click out of it. Just like that. And off to the next one. Oop, wrong tool. Push it in a little bit. Feel the little click, and then pops out. Bend this one up. And you can bend that out a little bit too to give it a little more spring. And then it should only slide in one way. So you want like that. And probably bend that one out a little bit. Probably easier to pull it back out and bend it, but we'll do the rest of them. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is because, yeah, see, like this one here looks like it's a little mushed, maybe. It's not too bad. But the main reason for replacing this is because of that broken thing. We can retension these a little bit. Forward, slide out, and presto. And you just do it one at a time. No rush. That way you know exactly where it's supposed to go. Didn't push it forward enough yet. All right. There we go. Sometimes they're a little, sometimes it'll shoot off. Add a little bit, just gives it a little more spring. Bring that out a little more so that when it goes into the back end, if it's not springy, replace it. Okay. And we're just going to do this for all of them. Yeah. Just kind of see if it springs back. If it does, then we're good. If it has no spring in it, replace it. I prefer to do top, bottom, just all the way through. Try not to put too much force into this, otherwise you'll bend it like I've done in the past. And for such a simple little tool and as little as there is of it, they're pretty damn pricey. See, now that one looks kind of funky. Let's take a look at the original one. Yeah, I don't know if this will show up on camera, but this one has kind of a little wave in it, as opposed to that one. Is it enough to replace it? I don't think so. Depending on how short your wires are, this could be a little bit of a tight fit. There we go. Make sure you get a nice click out of it. If you don't hear it click, that means it's not in there. And your power pins are the most important ones. So it's always a good idea to make sure you get that right. Okay. And don't put it back into the same thing you pulled it out of. Okay. This is a Molex connector. They also have there's multiple other brands. The next most popular, or some might argue even more popular than Molex, is the amp connector. And they are just slightly different in size, and they use slightly different pins. These are bifurcated. Say that 3 times quickly. Which means that they're split right down the middle. I believe the amp ones are just a single, they're not split. Not sure if there's any advantage to having them split or not, but don't know. Okay, and then of course you just kind of tug on them a little bit, make sure that they don't come back out. Okay. You also need to pay attention to see if, like, it's gonna skip several, so we need to make sure that we skip the same amount over here. It's not hard to do. It's just, as with most things like this, it's just a little tedious. Bring that up and that down. And insert there. Push that in a little. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you push them in or not, but that one's actually in better shape than the other one. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So if we look at these, the yellow is plus 12, so it'll go into next. Then we have a key. Then we're going to skip 2. And then we'll have 2. So of all the ones you want to get right, these are the ones you want to get right. Nice click. Oop. I'd rather not have to replace one if I don't have to. Don't want to go too crazy on that, but they will squish back down. Okay. Now, one of the things I do use, that I've been using recently, is this little extender thing here. It's easier to replace this than it is to redo this. So I just plug this into here, and then I plug that into the board. So if that ever goes bad, then I can just replace that, and I don't have to rewire everything. Okay, so we're gonna do, we don't have the counter hooked up, we don't care about the empty and the key. So there's 3. And then we go to speaker. Luckily this one has a label on it too, which makes it easier. Oop, see, that one broke off. I didn't push it in far enough. Let's see if I can push this one out then. There we go. Well, all right, so we're gonna have to put a new connector on here. Okay. These little strippers here are $7. They're probably more than that now, but they were $7 when I bought it, and they're super good strippers. Don't waste your money on the super expensive ones. These work really well. All right. So then we need one of these. And these, I don't know if you can read the, it's SN28B. Hopefully I haven't been blocking the shot the whole time here. So I put them in like this. And all right, I don't know if you can see this, but we'll. There's little nubs here. I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but they should go right up to the die. Okay, and then I'm just holding the tension. And then you want to put the wire in, up to the insulation. See, and then just a little bit of the insulation. Grip it like that, and it should grip it right on the insulation and grip the wire. Give it a small little tug. It's good. And then we're inserting in like that. And that was not a good crimp, apparently. Not enough wire, I bet. All right. Well, this is what happens. Throw that one in the trash. We'll try it again. We'll strip some more wire back. It's pretty thin wire on this one. So we're gonna curl it over a little bit to make it a little thicker. And we'll do a double crimp on this one. All right, and here. Line it up with that. Come on, a little bit of the insulation in there. And the double crimp is going to be going to next size smaller so that it really crimps it. Okay. Okay, so that goes into speaker. Okay. Yeah, if you tug on it and it breaks, well, better now than when you're trying to put it onto a board and you're wondering why your speaker doesn't work. There we go. Back to what we were doing. Up a little bit so it clips in. Bring it out a little bit to be springy. And then we go like that. Okay, it's in there good. Okay. Then we're going to skip one. And then we're going to go to video. It's going to be red, blue, and ground. Okay, so red, blue, ground. Okay. that flatten out a little bit. Red. And this can get a little tricky because you don't have a lot of room. And we're going to do the green below. There we go. They look shiny, so that's green. Put it in the right way. It's always helpful. Okay. A friend of mine printed up this label. I'll see if I can get some more from him, because these are actually pretty nice labels. You might be able to find these online as well. They come in really handy when you're doing stuff like this. You can see this one here. I'm probably going to have to redo the crimp on this one because this one looks kind of funky. But that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and extract. Probably extract both of those. Since I have all my wires color coded. Alright. Some of them can be a pain. Oh. Push it in a little further, maybe. Oh, yep, see, that one broke off. Well, that one does not want to come out. Might be replacing that one too. Alright, let's try the bottom one. Yeah, see, that one came out. Why the blue does not want to come out? There, oh, there we go. Yeah, just throw it around. Yep, we're gonna just put a new one on the blue because it did not want to come out. That's fine. All right, the white one is the sink. And that one is right here. Jeez. All right, so let's go ahead and cut these. Gives me a little more slack to work with. Black is ground, blue is blue. All right, so we're just gonna trim that up. Trim that up. Perfect strip almost every single time. Twist the wires. Okay. Two of these. Yep, don't lose that. But doesn't matter which one you do first. There we go. Go ahead and put that one in. Okay, now blue. This one will double crimp because the wire's a little thinner. I know people that will crimp and then solder, but I think that's a little overkill, but if you want to be sure, then that is definitely the way to go. All right. To me, that takes too much time. Okay, so that's the video section. Now this has the barb already up on it. This came out of service. This is the service switch. I already said the barb's up on that, and there I go. Alright, so service is this one. Okay, good. Nice and snug. Now this is where it becomes a pain because there's so many of these things. So close together. And we also had another broken ground wire here. We'll have to figure out where I want to connect that up at. Or not connect it at all. Probably. Yeah, that one's gonna suck. Okay, so I don't need to take those out actually because this thing is going in the trash because it's broken. Okay, so that one comes out easy. Nice. Sometimes things work the way they should. What do we got here? Oh, there's a piece of plastic in there. Ah, looks like the piece of plastic from the one that was above it. And this is tilt. Which I think on this one is marked as empty. We got service. Yeah. So there's a solder side, and then there is a component side. So solder side, this one, even though it says empty, it's actually tilt. That one has empty. Modern JAMMA games didn't typically use tilt that much. The old games like Galaga and such used it, so if you smacked the coin door, it would reset the game, and any credits that you had on there, you would wind up losing. Alright, that one does not want to come out either. Push that one in as much as we can. Again, don't bend the tool. If I have to cut it, then I'll cut it. Well, that one's gonna get cut. Or maybe, actually, my needle nose pliers. See if we can use a little extra oomph on it. Nope. Interesting. That one does not want to come out. But when they talk about, oh, there we go. When they talk about repinning an edge connector, this is typically what they're talking about. Generally what you would be doing though is you'd be cutting this, putting a new end on, and then you know what I just did? I was not paying attention, and I was pulling the wrong damn thing out. That goes back in there. Ay. That's why that one came out easily. I had the wrong connector. There we go. Yeah, that one's pretty mashed. So I'm going to replace that one. What was I saying? Typically when you repin, you're going to do like this. You're going to pull the connector, you're going to cut the old one off, strip the wire, put a new connector on. That's what they call repinning an edge connector. Alright, then this one goes into test. Okay. Alright, next up, the 2 coins. Part side, solder side. So this is the way it would be. So I'm going to do that one. Goes to the top. Worst case scenario for most of this is if you get it backwards, you just pull the pins out and put them back in the right place. There we go. That one felt better. Maybe. Maybe not. Felt like it went in there right. There we go. Again, if you go and pull this out and it pops out, then you know you need to redo it. And that one looks kind of smashed down. Yeah, that one's a little smashed for my tastes, so cut it off. Strip it. Let's start in the smaller one, see if it fits in the smaller one. Sometimes you have the little wings don't fit in there very well. There. Since it's a smaller gauge wire, we'll go ahead and just go into the smaller gauge connector. That way we don't have to double it. And you want to make sure that the inside one gets the wire and not both of them on the insulator. If both of them are on the insulator, then, well, that's not going to do very good. Alright, so this one was coin 1, right? Yep, coin 1. Sometimes you have to kind of reposition your wires. Try not to snag anything. Put it in the right direction. And presto. Okay, the next one. Interesting that that one was squished more than the rest. But it is near the middle, so yeah, see, that one looks nice. Heck, the prong even looks pretty decent on that one. Yeah, that one was nice. Well, don't know why that other one was smashed so much, but okay, coin 2. 1 player start. All this because a couple wires broke. Yeah, leave it in there. That one's not too bad. Okay. That one is player 1 start. So that's going to go to here. Click. And we're good. And the other one is player 2 start. Player 1's top, player 2's the bottom. At least for JAMMA. Yeah, that one came out a lot easier. Springing. If it does not spring at all, then get rid of it. Okay. I don't like the way that looks, actually. Not that I use that a lot, but see how that's not on the insulation at all? We're going to redo that one. Squeeze those a little bit on the first one here. Line that. Too far. Perfect. Okay. Upside down, of course. Like I said, if it doesn't look good, redo it. Okay, so all right. Player 1 up. Springy. Some of these, when you look at them, you'll know just by looking at them they are horrible. Come on, get in the short wires It's got a lot of tension on that, so that's why it's a little more challenging. Normally I do top, bottom, but I think I'm going to just do all the way across and then all the way across. That'll probably make it a little easier. Let's find out. Actually, no. I'm going to stick with the way I originally said I was going to do it. That one looks kind of angled a little bit. Could be the housing, the way I'm making it look that way. Well, maybe I will do the other way. All right, let's try it that way. Yep, all right. Sometimes it's a matter of leverage. Being able to get to it. That's player one down, player one down. More than one way to skin a cat. Yeah, see, I don't like the way that one looks. Didn't grab the insulation. This is probably done a long time ago when I wasn't sure how to use the crimpers the right way. Now I know how to use them the right way. So my crimps are a lot better. And when you buy these pins, buy them in 100, multiples of 100 at a time. For cases like this. Remember, if you buy 100 of these, you can't even do 2 of these connectors because they're 56 pin. There we go. Right on the insulation. And that will be left. So in order to do 2 of these, you'd have to do 112. Unfortunately, Great Plains Electronics is closed forever. I used to order everything from them for the parts. Now you need to go to places like Arcade Parts and Repair. You might be able to find these on DigiKey or Mauser. Come on, get a hold of the wire there. Don't pull on 2 wires at the same time. There we go. Yeah, that one's got insulation. Good. Okay. Now the 3 buttons. Click and pull. Now the reason some of these might be smashed more than the others is usually because of the edge connector you're connecting to. If the edge connector, if somebody's put solder on pins, which is a very bad idea, that'll cause them to be thicker, which will cause these things to be squished more. But generally speaking, I go through adapters, so I don't know why Some might be squished more than others. Could be just the flexing of the board. Could be a lot of different things. Okay. You get to see all the nitty-gritty details. Okay. And if you have arthritis, this is probably not going to be a fun job for you. Because it does take its toll on your hands. Especially the fingertips. Okay. Now we got... This one says not connected here. This one says empty here, but that's actually player 4 button. Not player 4 button. 4th button for player 1. Not used on a lot of games, but it is on some. So might as well connect it up. Doesn't hurt. At least not that I've run into. Okay, then we're gonna skip one, and then we're gonna have 2 grounds, and this top ground here is toast. So we're just going to, looks like I'm gonna redo that ground. So what I'll probably do is just jumper the 2 together, because my harness does not have another ground going that way, which is not a big deal. The more grounds you have, the better you are. The more +5 you have, the better off you are. Okay, so we were gonna look at changing that, because that is not... Yeah, let's, I might want to change all 3 of these. Alright. Let's gonna cut this one. I'm gonna strip this one down a little further than normal. And then we're gonna strip this one down on both sides. Basically, we're gonna just tie the grounds together. Alright, so let's just pick an end. Line it up. Insulation. Presto. Now, I'm going to twist these 2 together. This is where it gets tricky. You may not be getting insulation on this. We're going to go with the bigger slot for this one. And we're going to double crimp that, I think. Just to make sure. Okay. And then we can do ground here. Come on. here, upside down, of course. Okay. All right, we're almost done. Home stretch. Now we'll do, yeah, that one. I think I'm going to cut both of those. Well, let's see if I can get them out of there first. Not that it matters. Actually, it probably doesn't matter. I just like to do it for practice. Ta-da. All right. Those were not great crimp jobs, so we're going to replace them. This one, feed that back through the, there we go. This is why I like those crimpers. Perfect almost every time. Okay. Junk, junk. Up. A little bit of the insulation. It's a little bit thicker wire, and I was putting in the smaller one, but that's fine. We got insulation and the wire. That's what you want. For the grounds, it really doesn't make much of a difference which side you go in on. When you put it back in the housing, as long as they're in the right spot for grounds. There we go. Which is going to be that one. Come on. Click. Click. All right. So now we're gonna skip one and then go, so white goes over white, gray over gray, etc. So I'm just going to see if I can extract all these at one time. So that'll make it easier to deal with. Sometimes you have to wiggle it a little bit. So, there we go. Since none of the colors are duplicated, I don't have to worry about this. Getting this housing out of the way will make it a lot easier to deal with. Come on. All right. Forward. Oh, that one does not want to come out. Okay, we may be redoing that one. The red one looks kind of messed up. Okay. They all want to be a little stubborn, huh? How about the orange one? There we go. Yellow. Really? Aren't we? We're being a little stubborn. Usually that means the tab on top is not being pushed down far enough. Yeah, that red one, I don't like the way the red one looks. It might be in the housing kind of funky. We'll see if we need to replace that one or not. If it won't come out of the housing, we will definitely cut it and replace it. Yeah, we're on the 2-player. Let's see if we can. There we go. How about this one? Nope. Yeah, okay. Might be replacing this one because it looks like. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, that one's mangled. Definitely replacing that one. I don't know if you can see that, but it is definitely mangled. That should be a flat. It shouldn't be curving up like that. So we'll be replacing that one. Alright, that housing is done. I will take the key out of it because those are reusable. And then, because this one is broken, we're just going to toss it in the trash. Alright, so the red one we want to replace. Green. All these look pretty good. So we're going to start with the white. That looks okay. Okay. Although I have hooked it directly up to some JAMMA games, and that may explain why some of them are a little more smashed instead of going through adapters. Gray. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay. Click. Purple. Yeah, that one looks like it's in really good shape. Blue. JAMMA. There we go. Green. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's flexy. Alright. It's player 2 too, so it doesn't get used nearly as much, so. But it's always good to have a 100% working harness. Well, that one is not cooperating like it should. Probably just the tension. Nope. Alright. Green wants to be replaced. If it's problematic, replace it. Simple as that. Alright. Bit of insulation in there. Ooh, don't move. There we go. Yep, that one went in way better. Yellow. I think red was the other one. Yeah, red is the other one we want to replace. Okay, orange. Orange, you glad you know me? Click. And we're going to replace red because it is mangled. I don't know if I can... This one might be a good comparison. This is what they should look like on the right, and what that one looks like. It's pretty well mangled. So we're just going to go ahead and replace it. Okay, then we'll do that. Perfect. And in the hole you go. Click. All right. So my harness has been repinned. Ground 5 volts, -5, +12. Should never trust the color of the wire, but I always try to be consistent with my wire colors. Red for +5, black for ground. Then of course -5 and +12. I try to do yellow for +12 and -5 is blue. But if you don't have those colors, then as long as they're not red or black, then and you label them well, then you should be fine. Okay. And then I just take this. You can see how nice and clean that is now. A snug fit. And that's it. It is all done. Thanks for watching.